I need you to pause for a moment and really listen. Not scroll, not skip, just listen. What I'm about to tell you cost me more than 50 years of my life to understand. My name is Daniel. I'm 78 years old, and I spent most of my life chasing things I believed would finally make me feel enough. Money, status, the corner office, respect. And the dangerous part is I actually achieved those things. I got the promotions. I earned the title. My name was on the door. People stood when I walked into a room. But one afternoon, sitting alone in that office, staring out of a glass window at a city I thought I had conquered, I felt something I never expected. Emptiness, not sadness, not anger, just a quiet, hollow feeling like I had climbed a mountain and discovered there was nothing at the top. We all tell ourselves the same lie at some point. I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I get the raise, when I buy the house, when I retire, when people finally respect me. I said that sentence for decades, and every time I reached the when, another one appeared. The finish line kept moving. I grew up watching my father work in a factory, coming home exhausted, hands rough and cracked, and still treated like he didn't matter. At 11 years old, I decided I would never be seen that way, so I worked harder than everyone. 60, sometimes 70 hours a week. I missed birthdays, school events, quiet dinners with my family. But I told myself I was building security. What I was really building was distance. Distance from my children, from my wife, and eventually from myself. At 53, I became a senior executive. Big office, impressive title, the kind of success people admire. But success didn't silence the voice inside me asking, "Is this it?" It took me another 20 years to understand what I was actually chasing. It wasn't money or power. It was a feeling. I wanted to feel worthy, important, safe. I thought achievement would hand me that feeling. It doesn't. Enough is not something you earn. It's something you decide. And I didn't make that decision until I was 73 years old. That's almost half a century spent trying to earn something that had always been mine. That same misunderstanding nearly ended my marriage. I believed being a good husband meant providing a nice house, reliable cars, financial stability, and I provided well. But I wasn't present. Even when I sat at the dinner table, my mind was somewhere else. One night, my wife looked at me and said, "Daniel, I don't need more things. I need you." That sentence hurt more than any professional failure ever did. Providing and being present are not the same thing, and many of us confuse the two until it's almost too late. We nearly lost everything, not because I failed, but because I was emotionally absent. Now at 78, I've noticed something about the people my age. The unhappy ones are still chasing, still comparing, still measuring themselves against others. I know a man in his 80s who is still upset about what his neighbor owns, and I know another friend with very little. Modest income, health issues, small apartment, who wakes up grateful every day. The difference isn't circumstances, it's peace. Real freedom isn't wealth or applause, it's the ability to look in the mirror, wrinkles, regrets, and all, and say, "I'm okay." It's not needing validation from outside yourself to feel stable inside yourself. Here's the truth most people don't realize. Fear doesn't disappear when your life improves. When I paid off my house, I worried about retirement. When retirement was secure, I worried about health care. Fear simply attaches itself to something new. It only loosens its grip when you change, not when your circumstances do. Everything I thought I wanted, money, status, recognition, was really a disguised desire to feel secure, loved, and worthy. And those feelings were available to me the entire time. I just didn't know I was allowed to give them to myself. Young people believe happiness waits at the finish line. I believe that too. But there is no finish line. There is only this moment. If you cannot find some peace on the way, you will not suddenly discover it when you arrive. I've tested that theory for 5 decades, so stop saying, "I'll be happy when." That sentence postpones your life. Decide that you are enough right now, not when you earn more, not when you look different, not when someone finally approves of you. Right now. Because if you keep chasing, one day you'll wake up in your late 70s wondering where the time went. If this meant something to you, share it with someone who is grinding themselves into exhaustion trying to prove they matter. And tell me in the comments, what is your "I'll be happy when"? What are you postponing your happiness for? If you want more conversations like this, not motivation but perspective, subscribe. Because sometimes what we need isn't more ambition, it's awareness.